Miller's Tire and Auto Care. Need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. 4 high schools, 7 middle schools, 1 college, and a university, and much more. Now introducing your most comprehensive weekly local sports show in Madison County, the Richmond Register Sports Show. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Here's your host for all things local sports, the Richmond Register sports editor, Nathan Hutchison.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. My name is Nathan Hutchinson. I'm the sports editor of the Richmond Register. We very much appreciate you tuning in this week to what will be the last episode of the Richmond Register Sports Show for this academic year. If you want to call it that, we're going to shut it down for the summer. We'll be back in August. But on our last show, we do have some very special guests, and we haven't had a lot of in-studio guests here recently, but we do have state champion, Madison Central's Wyatt Stewart, who won his 3rd straight Class 3A state pole vault championship on Saturday, and Reagan Wright, also a senior at Madison Central. He finished 3rd Saturday, over at the Class 3A state pole vault, and so they'll be here in just a minute to tell us all about that. But before we get into all that, we like to wrap up our final show of the season the way we've done just about every show since we started doing this show, and that's with a recap of the week that was in Madison County sports. And of course, we have to start with high school state track meets. We did have all 3 of them this past week: the Class A meet on Thursday, the 2A meet on Friday, and the 3A meet on Saturday. And of course, the Model and Berea kids are eligible for the Class A, and of course, the Central and Southern kids compete in the 3A. And so we'll start with the 3A, where we have a couple of repeat state champions, and we're going to start off with Kiera O'Shea, of course, why not, right? She, on Saturday, she won her 3rd straight 3,200 meter state championship, giving her a great way to close out her career. One of the most amazing high school careers of anybody that I know of in 20 plus years of doing this, but 10 individual state championships, 5 in cross country, 3 in the 3,200 meters, and 2 in the 1,600 meters. She actually qualified to compete in 4 events Saturday at the state. It was a very, very hot day, and she has a busy schedule of stuff the rest of the summer before she heads off to the University of North Carolina. So she did not compete in the 800 or the 1,600 meters, but she did compete in the 3,200 meter race and dominated the field, 10:38.73, just 6 seconds off her record, which she set last year at the state championships. But another great day for her, and she was actually lapping people. It's only an 8-lap race, and you were lapping people. It was absolute. She went, as she always does, she went right to the front, blew away the field, and closed out her high school career with her 10th state championship. And afterwards, we had a chance to talk to her. We're here at the University of Kentucky Class 3A state track meet, and for the 3rd straight year, the 3,200 meter state champion, Madison Central's Kiera O'Shea. How about that? 10 state championships now for you. How about that?
Yeah, it's just so exciting. Each one is just, it's just so exciting to see all the progress pay off, all the work pay off.
Yeah, of course, this is your signature event, the 3,200, and went right to the front. Yeah. You were lapping people out there.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a tough day. Obviously, it's very hot out here, so definitely a tough race to push through. But I just kind of wanted to come out, finish off my senior year, but just a fun race, try and enjoy it as much as I can, and just, have one last fun race here in Kentucky as a high schooler.
Well, obviously, you could have raced in the 18 or the 16, but like you said, it was hot. Probably figured into your decision not to run in those races, I guess.
Yeah, it's just been a lot of working and practice, and so just coming out today, I wanted to just kind of do one race, just have as much fun with it as I could, and just kind of come out here one last time and enjoy it as much as I could.
Were you thinking record there? You just about 6 or 7 seconds off your own record. Were you kind of thinking that, or not really too concerned about that?
Honestly, I wasn't too concerned with it. Obviously, it would have been nice to beat it just my senior year, but with the conditions, it's tough, and I enjoyed the race as much as I could, and I can be really upset with it.
Congrats to Kiera, and we've interviewed her so many times over the years, and she's always so nice, and her family's so nice, and so best of luck to her as she heads off to the University of North Carolina. And before that, I'm sure this summer she'll be doing a lot of national events and stuff, so we'll keep you updated on her progress as she heads into college. So we did have two other Madison Countyans reach the podium on Saturday at the University of Kentucky during the KHSAA Class 3A state track meet. And while Kiera was winning her third straight 3,200-meter title, Madison Central senior Wyatt Stewart was winning his third straight pole vault title and doing it again in state record fashion. Last year, he set a new state record of 16:03 on the way to the championship. This year, he sets a new state record of 16:08 on the way to the championship. Senior Reagan Wright of Madison Central was third, you'll see here in a minute. We joke with him a little bit that he actually finished tied for second, but technically he's third. And but for the third straight year, it is Wyatt Stewart as the pole vault state champion. Of course, he's heading off to the University of South Dakota here this fall, and he'll tell you a little bit more about that here in just a minute. But let's go down the rest of the results for Madison County folks from the Class 3A meet. On Saturday, Meredith Campbell was from Madison Central was 10th in both the 1,600 and the 3,200 meters. Chase Lockmuller from Madison Central was 16th in the 3,200 meters. Central's Alicia Fain was 18th in the 400 meters. Central's Bill Kessick was 20th in the discus. A bunch of relay events here for the girls from Madison Central. 4x8 was in 14th place, 4x4 was 16th place, and the 4x1 was in 21st place. And the boys 4x800 also competed as well on Saturday at the state meet. And for Madison Southern, we had just one individual placed in the top 20, and that was Jayshawn Etheridge, 18th in the 100-meter dash. For Madison Southern, the boys 4x1 and the boys 4x2 relays both took 19th place. And mentioned the Class A meet was on Thursday in Lexington, and just only had two competitors from Madison County in that, both from model. Freshman J.D. Balzer was 10th in the 1,600 meters and 13th in the 800 meters, and her brother Ty, who is a sophomore, was 13th in the 1,600 meters. So we had some other news across the county earlier this week, something we knew was kind of in the pipeline for quite a while, but it was official, I do believe, on Wednesday or Thursday, that Berea College will be joining the Heartland Conference next season in the fall of 2024. They will spend next year in the Collegiate Conference of the South. We talked about this during our Madison County Sports Night Live earlier this week, but this is a much, much better fit for Berea College. In the 10 years since they've transitioned up to NCAA Division III, they've been in a couple of leagues that are just not good geographical fits for them. The Heartland is very much so, because every team in the Heartland is either in Indiana, Ohio, or Kentucky. And the members include Anderson University, Bluffton University, Defiance College, Earlham College, Franklin College, Hanover College, Manchester University, Mount St. Joseph, which is just north of Cincinnati, Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, and of course Transylvania, which is just up the road in Lexington. So all the Berea College sports will start competing in the Heartland in the fall of 2024. There'll be some new rivalries, some new excitement. I know when the news got out, there was a lot of excitement across Twitter and folks around the area. So it'll be a much better fit for Berea College athletics moving forward. And speaking of movement and the controversy that ensues, we did have some transfer news this week. As these things go, when kids change schools, it always some folks are happy, some folks are not happy, and the whole various array of different emotions get out. But we can confirm that Madison Central's Bailey Hensley and Shelby Hensley are heading to Madison Southern. They both would have been seniors at Central this year. Now they'll be seniors at Madison Southern. Of course, Bailey led the Madison Central girls basketball team in scoring last season at 16.5 points a game, and also in rebounding at 9 rebounds a game. Shelby hit 326 for the softball team with a couple of home runs as well. But they are going to be heading down to Madison Southern. Actually, Madison Southern is out there playing summer league games right now, and they are playing with them. So we can confirm that. So, and some other news also involving the Hensley family. It does appear that Brady Hensley is going to be leaving Madison Central, heading to LCA. So is Kenyatta Harge, his teammate. And, of course, Kenyatta really hasn't played much the last 2 years because of injuries, 2 pretty bad knee injuries. But both of those young men have changed their Twitter profiles to indicate that they are going to LCA. And we have confirmed that through some other sources as well. And I know there's been we've gotten some backlash on social media for that, but we're trying to just report the facts, folks. So that's what we can do. So, and I don't know what else to say about that. If you don't want to see it, don't look at it, I guess. But we're going to tell you what we know when we know it. So there you go. I guess that'll about wrap it up for this week. Wasn't a whole lot going on, but there, of course, EKU sports are done except for a few athletes that are competing at the NCAA track regionals this weekend. But other than that, everything's wrapped up. We do have some Little League champions. If you check out our social media sites, we've got that stuff out there for you as well. And all summer, we'll be keeping you updated on what's going on, even though we won't be here every week and we won't be here every night for the Madison County Sports Night Live. But we'll be keeping you updated the best as we can. So just hang around because we got a couple of pole vaulters. Reagan and Wyatt will be here in just a minute. So stick with us.
Miller's Tire and Auto Care. Need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, super fast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Thanks for watching the Richmond Register Sports Show. For more information about all things sports in Madison County, log on to richmondregister.com or on Twitter. And like us, Register Sports on Facebook. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.
Welcome back. We are joined by state pole vault champion for the 3rd straight year, Wyatt Stewart, and I'm going to call you the runner-up. Yeah, you're technically were 3rd, but Reagan Wright, you were technically 3rd yesterday over at the state, but you tied for 2nd.
Yeah, tied for 2nd.
I'm going to say you're the runner-up, so there you go. On a very, very hot day over in Lexington, but congratulations, guys, and appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, yeah.
All right, well, Wyatt, you're a regular visitor here. Seems
Yeah.
like every year. You had a great day. I mean, obviously you won the 3rd straight state championship and broke your own state record, which I know is kind of weird. We talked about it yesterday, and I wrote about it in the story I put out about you. But you've gone over 17 feet. But for the KHSAA state record, it has to be done at the state meet. So last year you did 16.3. This year you did 16.8. So it's I know it's a bit kind of confusing for people who don't really understand it, but you've obviously gone what, 17.6, I think?
17.7 3/4 is my highest, and yet state record only counts as 16.8. So
either way, it's still got his name next to it. So there you go. Well, you obviously wrapped up the state title. It only took you a couple of jumps to wrap up the title, and you wanted to break that record, so you cleared 16.4. You cleared 16.8, and then you had 3 shots at 17.1. And so kind of walk us through those 3 attempts there.
I don't know what happened on the first attempt, honestly. Like, I just didn't jump. Like, I just ran, jumped, and didn't attempt it at all. Second attempt, there was a little bit of wind, and I was like, it's nothing that I've never jumped in before. And as I was, like, carrying my pole down, the wind just started picking up more, and I'm like, I can't do anything with it. And then my third attempt, I finally just, like, I was just, like, over it at that point. I was like, I'm just going to jump at this point. And then I ended up blowing through the pole. And it's like, well, can't really.
Yeah, because you pushed the standards back to, I think, 30, right?
Yeah, they were 30. Normally I have them at 32. And it's like, if you look at the jump, it's like as good as I could have made it.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't do anything with the pole being that small, so. what happens.
Yeah. Well, he's a pro at this. First time we're meeting you and having you in here, but your senior year to go out with, like I said, I'll call you the runner-up, state runner-up. Your first ever experience at the state meet, right?
I'm really glad I was like able to make it. Like the KHSA like rules, you can only have like the top 2 from each team, but we actually have like the top like 4 in the state. Like I think the 4 of us are like top 10, and so like I was always beaten out by Jordan, but I finally had him my senior year and was able to make state, and it was a really good experience. Like super hot, but it was really fun.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up because I know Coach Matuse and obviously Monty been very critical of the KHSA because of this, but unfortunately it's the rule for every sport. Only 2, the regional level, we can only have 2 competitors from each school in each event. And so, like you said, you probably have maybe 4 or 5 of the best pole vaulters in the state, but only 2 of them can compete at the region, and then, of course, only 2 of them can advance on to the state.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I know Monty and them kind of wanted them to change the rules, but it's, I don't know, it's just kind of an unfortunate situation for you guys at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super rare occurrence where like the top 3 is like all from the same school. Like it never happens like that. It's just like a once in a lifetime where it happens like that. But every state except for Kentucky does it like a different way, where you just have to reach like a certain height and you'll be able to make state. It's only Kentucky that like does it this way. So I think that's why Monty's like so upset.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, Jordan went to the state last couple of years, right?
Yeah, I think the last 2.
Yeah.
I
And finished well, right? When did he finish last year? Do you remember?
Last year, I think he got 3rd,
Yeah.
and then if he went the year before, I think he still got on the podium. But I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think he might have though.
Yeah. So how did the coaches determine that second spot? Obviously, he was going to get the 1 spot. Did you guys have sort of a jump off for it, or?
Kind of. It was like just who cleared 15 like a second time, and so I cleared it like this 1 meet, and then I had to clear it like 2 meets in a row, and Jordan had like 4 or 5 chances to get it and just wasn't able to get it.
Yeah, they kept kicking me out of meets so they couldn't compete against each other.
Jump off.
I'd be like, my dad would be like, yeah, you're not jumping this weekend so they can jump for state. I'm like, well, and then he would keep doing that for like 3 weeks. I'm like,
I wasn't complaining, man. I was jumping more.
I'm like, all right then.
Yeah. Well, you guys, a lot of times, you and Kiara are kind of in that same level where you compete in your events on a national level, and a lot of times you have those all-comers meets and stuff over there, and a lot of times high caliber athletes like yourself don't do those, but every one of those all-comers, you're out there. You just love to jump, right? I mean, you're just always jumping.
I mean, like, the only difference that I'll do in like an all-comers meet versus like a practice is that a meet actually counts. So like, I would like to go out and practice just jumping like over 17, but in a meet, like, we'll actually put up a mark like on mile split, so might as well jump in those. Like, and like, I mean, I chose to do the sport, so it's not like it's a burden for me to do. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've talked to this guy quite a bit and how he got into pole vaulting and everything, and we even did a little video with him a while back. A couple of videos with you over the years. But tell us how you got into pole vaulting, because
he was actually the one that got me into it. We were like 7th grade or something, and he was like already like one of the best in the state, and he was like, "Oh, you should come down," and I just came down to like this barn. Started jumping a little bit.
Is that Monty's place? Is that Monty Orchard's place?
And then I just like started pole vaulting. I took like a couple years like off of injury because I injured myself, but I came back and I was like able to pole vault again, and I've enjoyed it ever since.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when he first confronts you or kind of it brings it up to you, I mean, what's kind of going through your head, and
I was I was more of a jumper. Like I did like long and triple and stuff. But I was really happy to like try something new and like something that like looked as cool as pole vault.
Yeah. And was that just your first experiences with it? It's
I was terrible, man. I remember I was like the youngest. Me and Wyatt were like the youngest ones there at the barn, and I remember like being just terrified of all like the like high schoolers that were like pole vaulting. And I remember I was super nervous every time I was on the runway, but it eases over time. Like pole vault gets like better and better like the more you do it.
I think the first middle school meet we jumped together, he almost beat me. I think he was jumping at like 5 feet or something, and I was already jumping like 10 feet or something. And I was like, I might as well just come in and do it. And I just like missed it like twice.
Yeah, he third
like,
something 5.
like more than like less. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Half of what my PR was, like I missed. So I don't know what was going on.
You got to need a little push. That's right. It got shit going there.
Got the competitive in him.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's funny you bring up where you come in at, because it's another thing too that if folks that don't follow the sport or know a lot about it, especially if you look at I don't have the score sheet in front of me, but someone that doesn't know what the heck that means, they look at it and go, "What the heck is that?" Because it looks very weird. But you can come in at any point you want, right? I mean,
yeah.
Because you start off. We started like 13 or something yesterday.
At State, I think it was 11.
11.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you guys, I think you passed up to, what, about 13 or something?
Yeah,
But you
13.
passed up to 15. 15 yeah,
He won the
15.
meet with his opening height.
I think you had to clear the second height to win, right?
No, because you guys got 15.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
15,
'cause you would have had
and
less.
then
You would have had
I got
less
the-
jumps.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I got it my second attempt, and then they both
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Because I
We
was
both missed it.
Because I was in the back of the order. They two were in front of me.
Yeah.
I jumped at my second
Yeah.
attempt.
That's why you were technically third, because the kid from St. X had 9 attempts, you had 10. So
Yeah.
that's why technically you were
He-
third,
he
even though
beat
you
me
both
one
cleared.
on, 15.
Yeah, you both cleared the same height.
Yeah.
But he technically had
He-
fewer attempts than you. So
He is a great jumper, though. He's on like some giant poles. Like
Yeah.
I'm not mad that I got beat by him or anything. Like,
Well, I think we tie. We say we'll tie. Let's say
Yeah.
tied for a second. That's what we'll say. but so you can kind of come in where you want. I know we talked about this last year. There's a danger in that, because you did that last year at the state, and you missed your first 2 attempts, and you were almost out of the competition without a score. So
Yeah.
you have to kind of balance where you want to come in. And I think you did miss one, right? You missed. I think you missed one at your second height, right?
No, I missed it at my first
Oh,
height
first, okay.
because and this happened last year too. Like my warm ups were terrible, and like I didn't get on the mat like at all. So then you don't have any confidence, and then during like that first warm up jump you get before the bar goes up, it was actually like a pretty good jump. I don't know what happened, and then I knew I blew through the pole, so I went up another pole, and then I was like, this should be fine, because I normally start off on the pole smaller for warm ups. And I blow through it on that attempt. And so I had to start on my third pole, which I normally like am jumping over like 16.8 to clear. Like that's the pole I jump 16.8 on consistently. And I had to jump that for open height. So that kind of like threw everything off for a little bit. But I mean, it still worked.
Yeah, that is true. And it was hot. You had to sit out there and wait.
Yeah.
And you do have a little tent you bring with you.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of hanging out down there. But still, it's there. If you've ever been out there, there is no shade. There is nothing. I mean, it's a big open area. All of us are down there just baking.
Yeah, hottest day of the year,
There's a
man.
little, for you guys, there's a little area where you can sit under a little bit of shade.
Yeah.
But for the most
they'll
part,
put like one little tarp thing up for like all 12 of us.
yeah. It's a little area, but
Yeah.
so the conditions when you sit around and wait all day probably
Yeah.
they probably don't help either.
I mean, I'm used to it at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I've done it at every high school meet I have to go to at this point. So, like national meets are fun because open height's maybe like 6 inches to like a foot below what I normally come in at. So it's like a 20-minute wait.
Yeah.
But I've gotten used to waiting like an hour to jump.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, and he's like a rock star over there, isn't he? Because I kept watching, and I mean, everybody wants to talk to him. Everyone's like kind of congregating around him. All the other the jumpers, you know.
No, after he's done jumping, there's like a swarm of interviewers like every time.
I'm part of that.
You're part of the problem.
Yeah, that's true. But even the other competitors and stuff, everybody seems to. I mean
Oh, yeah,
obviously everybody knows he's by far the best at this in the state and one of the best in the country.
Everyone wants to improve in pole vault, and like obviously he's figured something out. So they like always ask him like some questions, like what he's done to like improve the most in pole vault, and like if it's not just all natural talent, if he like what he's done to improve the most.
Yeah. When of course your dad and Monty can't actually be on the down there.
No.
They're right across the way, right there. We hear them over there. And
Yeah.
kind of what are you getting from them during the competition?
Yesterday, I was mostly listening to Brooke Rasnick from Louisville because I'd been going up there during like indoor season to jump because I had no real place to get long runs. So I'd been jumping with her for a little bit. So now I've gotten to the point where like I was just listening to her, and she's Louisville's ex pole vault coach. So it's like she has a little bit of experience under coaching. So I was listening to her, and I'm at the point where like I jump the same. It's just if I want to tweak like what pole I'm on or where I'm gripping by like an inch. So like I'm not like trying to change too much when I'm talking to them. It's just like I tell them what I think and they tell me what they think, and then we come to a conclusion, and then I do the next jump.
Yeah. Well, they're giving you advice too.
Oh yeah,
obviously,
they give me a lot of advice. I need it. There's a lot of hand signals because it's so far away. You just have no idea what they're talking about most of the time.
You just kind of nod.
You
Okay, sure.
you run over there, like hope you can hear what they're saying, and then pretend you know what they're saying, then run back.
Yeah.
That's what's happened to me the entire meet.
I had to wait like for like 30 seconds just for like races to pass by because you can't do anything and you just look like
You
you're
just kind of like look at
like
them.
you look like you're ignoring them because you're just like but it's like you can't speak to them.
Well, I think there was one point yesterday where they were. I think there was like 30 seconds. They were trying to get you back over there to like you were trying to communicate with them, and then they were trying to get you back. Because once you got rid of these other guys, you were just out there on your own. You just kept going and going and going.
Yeah, and it's like because they kept like because once you win, you get to put it at whatever height you want, just as long as it's above.
Yeah.
So. They would keep trying to confirm it because I would get off the mat and I know exactly what my progressions were, so I would tell them. But you have to tell the people putting up the bar. You got to tell the people writing down all the information. So you got to tell like 8 people before like they can confirm it. So
Before you
like
can actually jump.
I would tell one person go over, and then I'd have to go back tell another person keep talking, and then just keep doing.
Well,
that
when you
back
get to
and
those
forth.
high heights, they actually have to pull out the little laser, don't they?
Yeah, it's only with the records I know. For sure. They were pulling out like wind measurements, which is the first time I've
What?
seen that. Yeah, like
didn't know they did that.
Yeah, they had a wind measuring thing. So,
Was it wind legal?
I don't even know. They could probably.
Yeah, it might not have counted actually.
It would have been nice if they could have canceled that second attempt where I said the wind was bothering me. Another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Every time you go for like a meet record or like a stadium record, they gotta measure it just to make sure it's official.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, I think if you followed you, knows you're going off to the University of South Dakota. And it's funny because even the guy from the Herald Leader yesterday, he said, "Where's he going?" I said, "South Dakota," and he kind of gave me this look, and I'm like, "That's like pole vault U, man." I'm like, so explain to people kind of the history of South Dakota pole vaulting, and the coach is a former Olympian. They've had other Olympians, so kind of tell everybody because I know some people probably go, "It's not going someplace bigger than that," but for pole vault, there is no place bigger than that.
Yeah, that's like the funny thing is like South Dakota is like a small school. Like we were told that the town size doubles whenever school's in. So like, but for pole vault, they do have like the best program. Like when we went up there, they were talking like, they're like, yeah, our football team's not too great. We're just a track and field like school. Like everyone around just watches track and field. And so, I mean, they have, I'm trying to think. I know they have Chris Nilsson and Derek Miles. Derek's the coach. He jumped 592, 595, I think, and was a 3-time Olympian and got a bronze medal or silver medal, a bronze medal, I think. And then Chris Nilsson is a 6-meter something jumper, and he got silver last year. And then I know they have a girl who's like an Olympian. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But they do have really good coaching up there, and Derek's been up there. Like he went to, I know he's been up there for most of like his time coaching. So, and even his coach is coaching him up there. So like that's like a good thing is he's not going to leave because he has such a strong attachment to there. So that's the biggest reason I chose it, because I know that I'm going to get a coach who's going to be there for the entirety that I'm going to be there, and that he has a solid background as a coach. So that's always promising.
Okay. When you heading up there? When are you going to leave?
Moving day's August 18th. So.
That's what mine is too.
Oh yeah, nice.
Like the same day.
Yeah. It's 13 and a half hours away, so like we'll probably go up the day before and stay in like one of the hotels there because they have a hotel on campus. So we'll probably stay there and then move in the next day. So probably the 17th is when we're leaving.
Yeah, tell everybody your future plans.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like pole vault in college. Like it's a really small university. It's called Huntington University. It's got like 1,500 kids, so it's a little smaller than Central. It's a really religious school, and I plan to be like a nurse there. they have like a really good track program. They have like a lot of coaches. And funny story, like one of my teachers, like one of my medical teachers, Miss Hess, like her parents went there.
Yeah.
And I was wearing a shirt one day, and she's like, "Why do you have that shirt?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go here," and she was so surprised. Gonna send her a postcard when I get there. But yeah, that's pretty much mine.
Yeah. All right. What are you going to academically? What are you looking at?
Kinesiology and sports management. It was just like, because when I went on my visit, I kind of didn't have an idea of what I wanted to do. I put down, or I said I wanted to take a theater class, and they had theater as my major, and I'm like, I'm not doing theater as a major. I want to do it as a hobby. But I'm going for sports management and kinesiology. And so, I mean, I just want to do that just because I think I'm going to coach no matter what I want to do. Like, I'm coaching people right now, and it's like I can't even help it. Like, it just happens. So I'm thinking might as well do it and get paid for it. So
Yeah. How did Mamma Mia go? Were you in Mamma Mia?
yeah, but actually really good. Like, all the shows went really nicely. We didn't have any real mess ups throughout the entire show, and it was a really good last show for me and a lot of the other people in it. So
You're not an actor?
Not an actor.
What are the kind of things you get into?
I was on the bowling team. Yeah, I just play pretty much any sport. I've probably injured myself like double the amount I've been playing basketball than playing my main sport track. But yeah, I just play like a bunch of random sports, just anything pick up.
Okay. All right. Well, man, appreciate you guys coming in. It's been so much fun to watch. About 4 years ago, I knew nothing about pole vault, but I was talking to you and your dad and Monty and everybody. I picked up a lot on it, and it's very interesting, and it's been amazing to watch what you guys have done. And you kind of led the way, and all these other guys have come along. And like you said, if you could have picked the top 24 kids, you guys probably would have had 5 kids or
we would have had 4.
Yeah, 4.
I would say, yeah.
I think we would have had 4 that would have podiumed. Like
yeah,
that state.
if we had everyone from like top 25, I think we would have had everyone from Central on the podium.
Yeah, which is crazy to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jordan's back next year, so he's going to win the state championship next year, right?
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Well, because John's still a junior, so
Yeah.
it's
He
different.
was in
So
JV,
so
so-
both
Okay.
of them have to compete
Yeah.
against each other next year.
It's going to be a good competition.
Yeah.
Like they're both improving for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be there, and hopefully we'll bring home a 4th straight state championship. Maybe it'll be his turn.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
That'd be good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, once again, appreciate y'all coming in. Congratulations on all your success. And you guys are the last guest on this season of the show. So there you go. We wrap it up with
Feels good.
with you guys. So that'll be it. We'll be back probably sometime in August at some point when these 2 guys are off in college already. But we'll keep you updated as always on our social media sites, Richmond R Sports on Twitter, Register Sports on Facebook, and RichmondRegister.com and all that good stuff. So we'll still be around a little bit. Me and Randy will be putting out some information and stuff. But for the most part, we're going to take some vacation time and go to the lake, go to the beach, go somewhere and get away. So once again, man, appreciate you guys being here.
Thanks.
Congratulations as always. Congratulations. And see you guys soon. Keep in touch. And like I said, you're going to be doing. Actually, I guess I need to ask you what your national schedule is. I'm sure you're going to be doing some stuff this summer nationally, right?
Yeah. I'm only going to one meet. I'm going to New Balance on the. I think I jump on the 18th. That will be the only meet I'm doing during the summer because right after that we're gonna take my 3 to 4 weeks of rest and just start the training plan for South Dakota. So.
Mhm.
We're just wanting to get through that as fast as possible, just so be ready for it.
All right. Well, best of luck to both of you in the future. And I appreciate you being on. We'll see you guys in the fall.
Miller's Tire and Auto Care need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, super fast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Thanks for watching the Richmond Register Sports Show. For more information about all things sports in Madison County, log on to richmondregister.com or on Twitter. And like us, Register Sports on Facebook. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.